Hello, my name is Gus, but you can call me BATGUS. Let's go back to our commentaries about the Batman the Animated Series. And today's episode is going to be one that I'm not that a big a fan of, but it's an okay episode. It's one of those that you don't remember so often. It is called the Underdwellers, and I'm going to talk more about it in a few minutes. But first, let's prepare ourselves to watch this episode together. If you have your Batman the Animated Series in your DVD box or maybe in a streaming service, you can start the episode and give it a play along with me in my countdown. Okay, so let's go. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. The Warner Brothers logo is on the screen. And like I said, the Underdwellers is an episode that I'm not that big of a fan. I think it's one of the most expendable episodes, but there are some interesting things in it. It has a kind of maybe social discussion revolving around child labor, I guess. Well, we're gonna see in the episode what I'm talking about, but it's a different theme, at least from the previous episodes, because we were always having the villain of the week in the previous Batman episodes. We had Man-Bat, Poison Ivy, Joker, Scarecrow. And this time we don't have exactly a villain of the week. We do have a villain in this episode, but it's not, at least as far as I know, is not one from the comics. Anyway, and the episode starts with these two kids walking over the subway system of Gotham, and they are over this train doing a playing around, fooling around, right? And they are taking a bet about who will be on the train the more time and will not jump off of it once the tunnel arrives ahead. And Batman sees that, and basically what we have in the beginning of this episode is Batman saving these two reckless kids in their stupid maneuver. So it's fine. It's Batman doing something different than just fighting criminals and fighting supervillains, right? It's him dealing with some casual situations of Gotham City, and he actually scolds the kids, gives them a lecture after saving them. So it's a interesting idea. Batman dealing with the more casual situations of the city. Then we have some shots of Gotham, the usual design that I so much love with the old cars and the people dressed as if they were in the old times, like the 50s or 60s. We also, and we have a scene where this street kid, steals a purse of an old woman in the street, and she tells the cop that she saw a goblin, or actually a leprechaun, because he was wearing this hood, this cloth hood that was green, and he was mistaken for her by a leprechaun, which is very funny. And Batman chases this kid, and this is a funny scene where Batman just walks over the cars and off the streets, and the people go, "Hey, come on!" And he chases the kid down an alley, but doesn't find him, and he thinks he also saw a leprechaun, and he gets confused, like, leprechaun? In the Batcave, he tells Alfred the story of the leprechaun. I guess that with all the freaky stuff that happens in Gotham, a leprechaun wouldn't be such of a big deal, right? But in this case, is not that. And this is where Batman says he says something very interesting, that he needs vacation, or he needs to relax. He's working too much. And Alfred gives him some suggestions of playing golf or do rich people stuff, and he goes, that sounds boring. And I don't think that plot goes anywhere. So again, Batman follows some clues on the Bat computer, and he's gonna go into the sewers of Gotham to check the lead of the leprechaun. And we have this very interesting scene where this water truck's passing down the streets, and very casual things of the city. The water that the water truck leaves on the streets goes down to a manhole and falls down into the sewer. And once the camera pans down into the sewer, we see that we have a bunch of kids working in the sewers, doing some manual labor, breaking rocks, basically being slaves. And that's why I think this is a social discussion in this episode, because it is dealing with the whole kids in the streets thing. There is a little bit of there's this very interesting scene that looks like The Wall from the Another Brick in the Wall song, with the kids following a line as they are summoned by their leader. And their leader is this guy who is like, I don't know who it is, this villain in the comics. I'm pretty sure he doesn't exist in the comics, but it is this guy with a cane and a patch in the eye, and he calls himself the King of the Sewers. And he is the leader of the kids for some reason, and they work for him. So he's in terms of bad guy, he's probably the worst. Even though he's not an official Bat villain, he's the worst guy, the worst villain of this whole series so far. Because being a slave master of kids is just too heavy, no? And then we have this scene where he's going to punish one of the kids because one of his rules is that they can't mention anything about the secrets of them living in the sewers. Actually, he's punishing the kid, the leprechaun kid that wears the green hood, because he was seen right at the streets of Gotham, and that's in his terms, this is a treason. And he puts the kid into this room that he hits up. Wow, and basically tortures these kids, and then he orders them to go after some things for him again in the streets, like getting purses or watches, or basically stealing for him. What a cruel villain, right? So Batman now is following the leads inside the sewers, which is a great theme of this character. At least I've seen sometimes the Batman going into the sewers of Gotham. Is not very usual in his stories, but there are many stories in the comics and in other cartoons, Batman going to the sewers to maybe fight a villain like Killer Croc, or to I don't know, follow some lead like he's doing here. And usually is this idea that he ends up finding some kind of society, or the poor people of Gotham in the sewers on all these occasions. So it is a interesting theme. There's a underworld in the sewers of Gotham that they don't know. I mean, the people don't know, and then sometimes Batman has to deal with it. And here we have the leprechaun kid. He stumbles into Batman and he starts to run from him. Batman chases the kid. Then he gets almost run over by a train under the sewers, in the tunnel system of the sewers. So Batman basically gets the kid and gets him out of the sewers and takes him back to the streets of Gotham. What a beautiful shot right now. If you are watching the episode with me, Batman just left the sewer by a manhole and he ran into the streets to find the Batmobile, which, by the way, is covered by a protection that I'd never seen before, which is this huge garbage box, right? That unfolds and reveals the Batmobile. But anyway, this shot has been away from a long time now, but he just ran into a dark alley that was so dark that you basically only saw the silhouettes of the design of the street, like the light poles and these things. And again, he's another visual example of how beautiful this animation is and how dark it is. Just the dark visual, the gothic visual of this cartoon is so... I miss that very much. I haven't talked about this since the first episode on Leather Wings, but I miss this style of animation so much, because although it's so dark, and the idea is that they used to write the drawings of the the animation over black paper to create this effect, it is so beautiful. It's just too stylish and different, and eventually we would lose that in the following seasons of the show. But anyway, now we have this very funny scene where the kid's now taken into the Wayne Manor, and Alfred has to take care of the kid. And we have this funny scene where Alfred actually has to chase the kid all around the house and help force him to take a shower. Anyway, we're gonna have this montage soon about Alfred and the kid in the house, having this messy situations where he has to clean up this kid. Anyway, we go back to the Sewer King, and he's talking with the kids, and he realizes that the one leprechaun kid is gone. He vanished, and he orders the others to find him, and if they don't, he will torture them. And the more this episode goes by, the more we hate this fellow. By the way, he's eating in front of the kids, right? He's eating a huge turkey in front of the kids, and they are hungry, crying and all that stuff. It's really sad when you think about it in terms of a animation cartoon that was supposed to be for kids. This is a very sad and depressive scene. But anyway, we quickly go back to Alfred at the Wayne Manor, teaching the kids some manners, by the way, about how to eat with the silverware, spoons and knives, and the kid starts to steal the silverware and play some pranks on Alfred. This is a very funny scene where Alfred is just looking for the boy around the house. It's so funny, the animation of Alfred going, where is this kid now? Where has he gone? And then the kid takes this big plate of metal and just surface around the stairs. Batman sees these events happening in the manor through a camera in the Batcave, and he laughs about it, saying, I hope I didn't give that much of a job to Alfred, which also cements the idea that he was raised by Alfred since he was a kid, right? The kid finds some guns in the house that are placed in a special room just for decoration, and he gets a big shotgun, right? An old shotgun that is without bullets, and Batman takes the gun off his hands and says, "Guns are not for kids." Again, it's a kind of episode that has this social discussion, but also has some lectures for if any kid is watching, right? And then he asks the kid to take him down to the sewer. Batman goes there and finds all the other kids around, and it's a very sad scene, and he takes pictures of the kids, their situation. You know what? I'm watching this episode now. I'm starting to liking it more. It's not as empty. When I mean empty, I mean in the good sense as the other ones. It does have a very interesting theme of this whole child labor thing that, it is adapted to a fantasy world in the cartoon with this terrible and kind of cartoon villain, right? That is the sewer king, but it is a real situation in the world with kids going hungry all the time, right? It's not just something that we're seeing here and it doesn't really happen in real life. We have millions of kids in the streets going hungry and all of that stuff. So, you know what? This episode, I'm kind of getting more acquainted to this episode now that I'm rewatching it. And I think this is the point of this commentaries, is to rewatch the whole series and just enjoying the great points of the episodes, enjoying the details, the main themes, right? Again, instead of just watching them. Now we had a scene, I'm sorry to I almost missed, but the Sewer King has crocodiles with him under the sewers, which is something that is so out of the box and crazy that it's unbelievable. But the fun thing is that he orders the crocodiles to get Batman, and Batman actually fights the crocodiles. We had this actual great scene of Batman fighting the crocodiles, and which kind of reminds us of him fighting Killer Croc, but we're not there yet. And this is a theme that will go on through the series of Batman fighting animals, or at least wild animals, or animals that are dangerous, right? We're going to see this many times, and I think this is something interesting to make a special video someday, the big monsters and animals that Batman fought in the Batman the Animated Series. Then we're going to have a fight. Batman is chasing the Sewer King down the sewer system. He falls into a hole that he didn't see before. So Batman was kind of reckless in here. He holds himself on a pipe and almost falls down the end of the sewer system, where there is more crocodiles, more alligators maybe. I'm not sure what's the difference, but more alligators about to eat him. Then the Sewer King gives him a lecture saying that you scared my lovely kids, my beloved kids, I guess. And the Batman goes, beloved kids. So this is a hateful villain, right? A despicable villain. I think that's why I'm liking this episode so much, because I hate this guy. And Batman knocks him out of the pipe he was balancing himself on, and the Sewer King falls to his probable death on the water of the sewer, and the crocodiles just gather around him. Looks like they're going to eat him. And Batman says, an appropriate end for a cruel man. But then the guy's alive. He leaves the water casually and calmly after, and saying that the alligators are also his kids. They're not gonna eat him, right? Anyway, so Batman shoots his grapple hook and again starts to chase the Sewer King again down to the train tunnel system now. And I should do a research to see if this villain actually exists on the comic books, but I'm sorry to not have this information now. Anyway, he will never show up again in the series, so I guess we won't talk about this in other episodes. Batman just jumps on the Sewer King, and he fell into the train, into the train, how do you say that? I forgot. Railroad. But he saved the guy. The train passed it, and he just took the Sewer King out of the way and arrested him. So he arrested the guy. And then we have this very good, very cute and amazing scene. It actually makes me kind of emotional to see the end of this episode where Batman saves the kids and they are all taken out of the sewers by the cops and taken into charity, right? Maybe an orphanage, or the social system will take care of them. And we see all these people of the city watching and clapping, which is so beautiful. It's so cute. And Batman watches the whole thing on top of the building. And also is a sunrise, so it's great that we see the kids finally see the sun of light once they get out of this prison. Anyway, that was the episode. I actually liked way more than before, so here's a lesson for me, and hope you like it as well. If you are liking these commentaries of Batman the Animated Series, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode, and bye-bye.